Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquam, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushai. A hearty shalom to you mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High, presenting your body as a living sacrifice, enduring all things for the elect's sake, pushing this truth and magnifying the ministry. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men of the Lord that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying. They're fasting. They're studying. They're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to the Akwath out there, the sincere Akwath sisters holding it down in the households, married and unmarried, reverencing their husbands, being submissive, being diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to everybody tuning in live. Treasure Too Shy, Donnie Stone, Key HOY Buffalo, Jerome French, Israelite Princess B, HBK Int, Keziah Israel, Gadal, Kabad, Ibad, Wesley 305, Banyawas, House of Manessa, WFI Benjamite, FX2T1, Ramelis, and Barza Yah Judah, and everybody else tuning in live. Shalom, shalom. At the topic of this live stream, we're getting right into it. New World Order, extreme lockdowns, and signs of the end. I'm going to repeat that. New World Order, extreme lockdowns, and signs of the end. Right? And the terminology for the live stream, so the channel don't get flagged or they don't take the video down in the middle of the video, you'll hear me use the word poison, right? If you don't know what it's talking about, then I don't know what to tell you, right? The poison that they put inside of you, we're going to use those words. We may say the word cure instead of another word that you're familiar with, just to keep things on an even playing field. Being circumspect. The Lord said, "Be wise as a serpent and are harmless as a dove." Right? Now, the thing about it is, what I want to pull out first and foremost is what's going on in Australia. Right? I kind of touched on it a few weeks ago, but I want to bring out a few things that's been going on in Australia. So the first thing, now this is Slaki, bear with me. I believe this is in Australia. Slaki, bear with me. I want to show this on the screen. I'm not able to pull it up on the screen, but I have to show it off on my phone. So now in Australia, they already told them it's day one of the New World Order, right? I played that clip before, but they came out and told them, "Welcome to the New World Order." And now people that are refusing to take that poison inside of them, they send in mobile task units, forcing that poison on the people, man. Right? Forcing that poison on the people. Right? Let's go to Revelation chapter 12 real quick. And I'm going to pull that clip up. But first, let me go to this in Revelation, right? Chapter 12. And I'll start at verse 10. Right? This Revelation 12 and 10. It reads, Salakia, bear with me. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10. Bear with me. I want 12. I'll start at 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. So the Lord said death and destruction to the inhabitants of the earth, the people that dwell on the earth right now. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And this devil is moving in wrath. And in this context, we keeping it real. We're talking about the so-called white man. He's moving in great wrath. He's showing his horns, man. Now, a lot of people, they don't want to take that poison. You even got Edomites in France and in other parts of the world protesting against the government, said, no, we're not taking it. They're refusing, and they damn near burning buildings down. They said, we refuse to put that poison inside of us. Now, Esau, this government, look, they don't give a damn. At first, people was kind of with it. people kind of, they thought that they had everybody, right? The way that these devils try to play chess, they tried to set it up. You understand? They had everybody with the mask on. They had everybody complying and doing it 6 feet apart, and everybody was getting used to it. But now you got people kind of bucking up against it, right? And the Lord is kind of having them fall into their own trap. But the point is, this devil, he's going into great wrath, because now you have a mobile task unit forcing that poison on people who have yet to receive it. So check this out.
I see this. This is the New World Order. This is in Sydney, Australia.
Now, hold on, I'm gonna play it again. What you're looking at, this is in Sydney, Australia. Right? This is in Sydney, Australia. All right. So you have a mobile task unit forcing poison on people who don't have it.
I see this. This is the New World Order.
See that?
This is in Sydney, Australia. They have a mobile task unit to vaccinate people that are fighting the vaccinations. There's a protest that's supposed to be happening, and they're catching the people that's protesting vaccinations one by one and forcing vaccination.
The protest hasn't started yet.
That's in Australia.
Let him go!
How long do you think it's going to take until they do
Let him
it?
go!
Can we please get together and plan and strategize about what we're going to do instead of just liking and making videos?
See that? Right? See that they kind of beating that guy up, man. Right? They kind of hunting people down. They're on the go. They're running. Now, they're not doing that in America yet. They're not doing that in America yet. It's not in your local city, but it's happening, man. It's happening. They're going to these different places around the earth. And I believe even the mayor of New York, he came out and said the days of it being voluntary are over with. Let me see if I can find that. Like I said, I didn't prepare too much because I didn't really plan on going into it. I want to go into the New World Order, right? The ancient New World Order, the time of the Greeks, this time. But now I'm kind of going into this. So bear with me as I put this information up on the fly through the spirit, right? Bear with me. I want to get this so I can show you what's going on. I may have to find it, but Salakia, bear with me 1 second. Salakia, bear with me. I want to see if I can get this. Right, I believe that was in New York. Right? I believe it was in New York. See that? New York will require state workers to be poisoned. Or undergo, and this guy's a madman. New York City workers will be forced. If you're a state worker, and that's a lot of, there has to be millions of people, man, that work for the state of New York. And the state, you have many different departments for the state. Got the agriculture department, the transportation, the education. You have many departments that work for the state. And that's millions of people. That's not a light number, right? New York, and that's one of the biggest states for population, man, if not the biggest, will require state workers to be poisoned. And it's not poison, but you should pick up what we're putting down now, right? We can't use certain terminology for brothers just tuning in. The word poison is synonymous for that thing they put inside of you. And he even came out and said the days of it being voluntary are over. We're going to go door to door. We're going to put you in a car and we're going to get that thing in your arm. He just came out and said it. And he's more bold. I can tell you in Daniel 7, let me get that, about his look being more stout than his fellows, right? Although that's talking about America, this guy, he's more stout than the rest of these Edomites, right? This Daniel chapter 7 and 8, right? This is speaking about America in prophecy, right? It reads, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, right, which is America, Babylon the Great, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, because America took down Spain, France, and England, respectively, in order to fulfill so-called manifest destiny. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Now, that's speaking about Babylon the Great, right? Speaking great things. Now, let's read on. It's like it says, and his eyes were like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. Now I'm going to jump down to verse 20. And of the 10 horns, this is Daniel 7:20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth, and that spake very great things. What is the very great things? That they're the Most High, they're Yahweh Shai, they're the angels. You got to get that inside of you, right? You got to be part of the New World Order. These are the great things, that they're the real Jews, that they're the people of the Most High. You have to comply with them. And if you don't do it, they'll lock you up in an internment camp. They're willing to confiscate your Bible, confiscate your guns. This is speaking of great things. Where in the scriptures that the Most High say, okay, look, if you don't get the Esau's poison inside of you, they get to confiscate the word of God? No, but these are the great things that this great horn is speaking in the last days. And they coming hard, man. And you saw what's happening in Australia. That's coming to Babylon the Great. Right now, you can kind of make a video about it. You kind of walk around, and you can't even pretty much leave your house, man. And now, I'm going to pull it up too. I don't want to jump the gun, but now they got like helicopters flying through monitoring people, and a mobile task force running, hunting you down. So it reads, Daniel 7:20, reading on, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. So America, they're more stout than their fellows, right? What is the definition of stout? Right, let's pull this up. Right, stout, it means the act or quality of a person, brave, determined, strong. Basically, it's another word for being proud, right? It's another word for being proud. They say heavy build, sturdy, plump, right? It pretty much just means proud. Their look is more stout than their fellows. And we say that because what's happening in Australia is bad. But when it comes to America, guess what? It's going to be about 10 times worse. All of this stuff you see happening around the world, from the civil unrest in South Africa, civil unrest in Cuba, the protest in France, which I'm going to pull up. There's so many things. And I'm going to do a current events, most I willing, tomorrow. Most I willing I can on the Cold Cuts channel. It should be back up and running. But you got the protests in France, and you got the mobile task force in Australia. I'm telling you, it's the New World Order. A lot of people think that's not coming to America. The Lord is strategically doing that through the Spirit. Because Babylon the Great, this is the final kingdom. Once it hits Babylon the Great, it's going to be 10 times worse. And they're going to be a little bit more stout than Australia, to the point where the Lord said they're going to be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. Right? So I'm going to play this video again. This is the mobile task force forcing the poison, and they're grabbing up people from the protest, and they kind of forcing the poison on them.
I see this. This is the New World Order. This is in Sydney, Australia. They have a mobile task unit to vaccinate people that are fighting the vaccinations. There's a protest that's supposed to be happening, and they're catching the people that's protesting vaccinations one by one, and forcing. That's in Australia.
So they kind of punching that guy.
It's going to take until they get here. Can we please get together and plan and strategize about what we're going to do.
And look, he said, can we please get together and plan and strategize what we're going to do? Hey, we know what we're going to do, man. We're going to fear the Most High. We're going to keep the commandments. He said, and he don't know what's going on. He better run across some brothers doing the work. The Most High better bring him into this truth, because a lot of Jakes have that mentality. He doesn't know what to do. Should we please get together? He said, can we please get together and strategize? We're not strategizing, man. We putting our faith in Yahweh B'Shema Mashiach Amalak Yahushua, man. Right, let's go to the book of Psalms 33. Right, can we please? We're not strategizing. We're not coming up with a blueprint. We're not meeting down in somebody's basement at 3 a.m. with a big blueprint, moving pieces in the sand like ancient war generals, and taking down a pharmaceutical industry and putting a plant here and sending a conspiracy. We're not doing that, man. We already have our plan, right? Our plan is our faith in the Lord, man. That's our plan. Our faith in Yahweh B'Shema Mashiach Yahushua. The Lord didn't say, I didn't read the Bible plenty of times. I have yet to read a book, chapter, and a verse where the Lord says, okay, here's the plan. This is what you do when Esau goes and he's hunting you down. What I want you to do is I want you to get a battle formation and get on top of the rooftop, and I want you to get the damn sniper rifle, and I want you. No, it's not in there, man. Right? But I want to get Psalms chapter 33 and verse 8. I'm going to start at 8. This Psalms chapter 33 and 8. Let all the earth, and we don't fear that. Why we don't fear that? Because the Most High said in Psalms 34 and 7 that the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him and delivereth them. So that's why we don't fear man. Right? We don't fear the poison. We fear the Most High. The Most High is running the show. He's moving the chess pieces around. We don't fear Esau going door to door. The Most High created Esau, man. The Lord told you that in Romans, that people worship the creature more than the creator. We don't give a damn about the creature. You know? But let me get this real quick in Psalms 33 and 8. Let all the earth fear the Lord. It didn't say let all the earth fear Esau. Let all the earth fear poison. Let all the earth fear the pestilence. It's like it, bear with me. Right? It says, let all the earth fear the Lord. Let all the inhabitants of the world stand in awe of him. For he spake and it was done. He commanded and it stood fast. Here's the point I want. Psalms 33 and 10. The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. So the Lord said he's going to bring the counsel of the heathen to naught and make their devices. Right? We know what their devices are when they're hunting down what they're trying to put inside of you. The Lord said he makes their devices of non-effect. That's what the Most High said, man. And they have councils right now. They're coming out and saying that the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, they're going to be targeted first. We have to reach them first. We have to reach the ghettos, the projects, the slums. Right? That's their counsel. We have to go door to door. We're willing to confiscate Bibles. We're willing to confiscate your guns. Right? They're coming up with new ideas for different damn variations of the poison and the pestilence. But the Lord is going to make their devices of none effect. Now I want to get that word devices in the Hebrew. Right? A device is pretty much an invention, a mechanism. Right? The Lord bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught and maketh their devices of none effect. So if you look that up in a blue letter, it's 842.84. Now it says device, plan, purpose, or invention. What is an invent? What did they invent? Right? We know what they invented, man. The poison, the pestilence. The Most High put in a spirit to make these different things and send it out there. The Lord created the organisms, the bacteria. The Most High created that and used Esau to put it out there. Right? And then the Most High used Esau to create the damn syringe, to create the poison, to create all the damn magnet and the stuff in your arm. The Lord created Esau to make that. That was the Most High's plan, right? And the Lord allowed Esau to invent it. That's what that word device means in the Hebrew, Salaki. It means invention. So all these inventions of the so-called white man, they're going to be brought to naught. That's why we don't fear that, man. Because the Lord said he maketh it of none effect. Right? Let's go to Job chapter 5. Right? Let's go to Job chapter 5. And I'm going to pull up that other article I want to get into. Right? This Job chapter 5 and verse, I will start at 11. Job chapter 5 and 11. To set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. See that? Hey, that's a mean verse right there, man. He disappointed the devices of the crafty. Who's the crafty? The serpent, Esau. That's why it tells you in Genesis chapter 3 and 1 that the serpent was more subtle above any other beast of the field which the Lord God had made. Right? So they're the crafty, they're the sneaky, they're the people that deal with guile and deception, right? Who slithers around, right? He disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. What is their enterprise? Establishing the New World Order, reducing the global population to under 500 million, right? They came out and said that Bill Gates said we have to reduce the global population through giving people, what was the exact word he used? I believe he said, I believe he used the word, he didn't use the word poison, but we know what he used, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, you might have to look it up. He came out and said, if we give people the poison, guess what? We can reduce the population. All of this is the enterprise and the ideas and the plans of the so-called white man. You see that? But the Lord is going to disappoint that for the elect. Now, if you're not the elect, and if you're not the men and the women of the Most High, you might get caught out there. You're going to be caught out there, and guess what you got to deal with? Right? You're going to be caught out there, and look, hey, it is what it is. But we fear the Most High, right? And the sister put a good precept, Isaiah 56. All right, let's get that real quick. No weapon that is formed shall prosper. All right, let's get that in Isaiah chapter 56. Slaki, I believe it's Isaiah 54, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Isaiah chapter 54 and 17. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is of me, saith the Lord. So if you're the elect, you don't have to worry about that. Right? That's your heritage, along with the Hebrew, the law, statutes, and commandments, fearing the Most High, the high holy days. You understand? Yahweh Bashmi Abushai, the name of the Lord. That's your heritage, along with being protected in the evil time. Right? So I also want to play this clip as well about what's going on. Because the guy said we need to what we need to do is we need to come together and strategize. We're not coming together and strategizing. Right? The plan that the Most High is already established. Now you got this going on. This from End Time Headline. This was posted today. Australia deploys helicopters and soldiers to keep people in their homes in one of the world's strictest poison lockdowns. See that? From End Time Headlines. And this is really happening, man. Helicopters and soldiers are making sure you stand at home. And they actually came out and said that. I brought it out on a previous Cold Cut last week. If I'm not mistaken, they said, welcome to the New World Order. And that's the plan of these devils. And it's not really even a New World Order. The concept of the New World Order is really old. Like, did not the Lord say in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and 15 that he requires that which is past? Right? So things that are happening now There are things that have been done from the time of Nimrod, from the time of Cain, from the time of Antiochus Epiphanes the Fourth. You understand? It's always been the MO of the so-called white man and these other nations to assimilate and have everyone lose their heritage, individuality, their nationality, and just become a one massive people, a melting pot, if you will, right? But let's get this in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 15. It reads, that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and the Most High requireth that which is past. So things that have happened back then, they're coming back on the earth, man. Didn't Nimrod have a new world order at the Tower of Babel? Didn't Antiochus say that all should be one people? That's happening right now, right? Let me get that in the book of Genesis, right? I mean, Slakia, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon about Nimrod, right? That spirit of Nimrod is back on the earth, man. There is no such thing as really as a new world order. It's always a plan of the heathen. And a deeper part of the new world order is really, it's a target, or the Israelites are the target of the new world order. And we're going to get that. That's in the book of Editions of Esther. We're a target of the new world order because what they want to do is get everybody to be one people, but they have to eliminate the Israelites because the Israelites are never going to comply with the world. You understand? They tell you that in the book of Esther, where Haman said that there's a certain malicious people that are scattered throughout the provinces who have strange laws and that are contrary to all men. And that's why they wanted to exterminate the Israelites all throughout the known world so they can get their new world order going. So that's why you Israelites, that's what they said, we have to target the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans. We have to kill them, right? We have to eliminate the men of the Lord. We have to make war against them that keep the commandments. If we can eliminate them, then we can get our new world order going, right? But let's get that. I want to get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 5. Right now, this is speaking about during the time of Genesis and the Tower of Babel. Right? This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and verse 5. Moreover, the nations and their wicked conspiracy being confounded, she found out the righteous and preserved him blameless unto the Most High, and kept him strong against his tender compassions toward his son. So it shows you, let me read that again. Right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and 5. Moreover, the nations, showing you that you had nations back then. Right? You had the sons of God, you had the sons of men, you had the sons of the wicked. So the nations had a wicked conspiracy. That's what it says. You got people, I don't believe in conspiracies. The Most High invented conspiracies. Conspiracies aren't real. You guys are crazy. There is no such thing as conspiracies. You guys are nuts. Man, you talk to the masses of people of the world and you talk about a so-called conspiracy theories. The people don't want to hear that. People want to stay asleep. They want to stay ignorant. They want to stay like sheep and cattle. That's what the elites call the people of the earth sheeple or cattle. Because they don't question anything. You know? They stand and they 6 feet apart. They got damn 3 masks on. You know? They calling the police on you if you don't got your mask. They like sheep just walking. They don't know what's going on. They go home every day. They watch Wheel of Fortune. They got the damn TV stand, eating a TV dinner, eating a Big Mac, listening to the radio, watching Fox News, go to work literally 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. They in traffic, honking a horn for 20 minutes. They go home, they kick their feet up. They might eat, right? They might take their son to the basketball practice or the kids to soccer practice, pick them up from ballet and the damn Girl Scouts. They'll have their dinner. They'll go to bed at around 10 o'clock. They'll hit their alarm. They'll wake up and they do the same damn thing all over. They don't know what's going on. So the Most High has conspiracies. I'm going to read it one more time. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and 5. Moreover, the nations and their wicked conspiracy being confounded, and we're going to read about it, she found out the righteous, who was Abraham, and preserved them blameless unto the Most High, and kept them strong against his tender compassion toward his son. So the Most High said that the nations had a wicked conspiracy. So what is the definition, right, of a conspiracy? Right? Let's see that conspiracy definition. So here's the definition of a conspiracy. It reads a secret plan. Right? A secret plan by a group to do something unlawful. And you can't make this up, man. Right? Really unlawful, meaning against the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Right? It reads a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. So like your synonyms are a plot, a sharp practice, deception, a scheme, a plan, stratagem. So the nations have a plot, right? A strategy. You understand? To do what? To get everybody to be one. But in order to do that, they really have to eliminate the Israelites, right? And if they can't eliminate the Israelites, they want the Israelites to be included in that by cutting them off from them being the Israelites, right? So if the Israelites don't know that they're the Israelites, then of course they're going to assimilate into a new world order. But if they know their heritage, now they become a threat to the new world order. See, right now, a lot of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans of the world, you're not a threat. You live the same lifestyle that I just gave. A lot of you are homosexuals in the world, or a lot of you jakes in the world, you women, you strippers, you might, have a family or so, but you live like the so-called white man, right? You might be in the suburbs, you might have like a little van or whatever, but you still don't know what's going on. So you're not a threat. Because you've been cut off from your heritage and you're more likely to assimilate into this new world order. But as soon as you find out who you are, now you become kind of a threat. So let's go to Genesis chapter 11. Right? Let's go to the book of Genesis, the 11th chapter. We're not going to read the whole chapter, but let's go to Genesis chapter 11 and verse 1. Right? It reads, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. What language is that? The Hebrew. Everybody back then spoke Hebrew. You didn't have French and German, Italian and English. Everybody spoke the Hebrew. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. So they journeyed from the east. Who is this? The sons of Cush. Nimrod, his army, his companions, they came from the east and they went to the plains of Shinar. The plains of Shinar are really about modern day Iraq, modern day Iran, right? That's what the plains of Shinar are. So what they did, this is one of the first world migrations, right? Of people migrating from one place on the earth to another place on the earth and great masses. You see that? From one place to another place. And they have a plan. We're going to read on. Right, we're going to read about their plan and what they have going on. So these are the sons of Cush, or the sons of Nimrod. Right, I want to pull this up on a map to be able to show brothers about Shinar. Okay, bear with me 1 second. Right. I'll have to find it later. Okay, here's what I want right here. Right? So let me show this on the screen so brothers can all see. All right, the brother Banyal Wasap said Mesopotamia. All right, so let me pull this up. So Akim should be able to look at the screen and see the plains of Shinar. Right, you see that? So this says Nimrod's, the kingdom of Nimrod. All right, you can see the ancient cities Sidon, Damascus, Jerusalem, or Jebus, but you see the land of Shinar right here. Right? This is the land of Shinar. So they journeyed from the east, from the land of Ham, and they went eastward to Shem's land. Rather, they slew people to take this land, and we're led to believe that they killed a lot of people to take this land. Because originally, this land belonged to the sons of Shem. Right? When you look up, right? Let's see if we can get this. How the land was divided after the flood. Each son was given a portion of the earth, of the known world at the time. Right? Each son was given a portion of the earth. So Noah, you know, he had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And if you're looking on the map, you can see Ham and Cush, or Nimrod, being one of the sons of Ham and the son of Cush. This is where they're originally from. But they journeyed toward the east. The sons of Cush journeyed and they came to this side of the world. Right? And this is where Babel is. And they came into the land of Shem. Right? And you have to extrapolate. And we're led to believe that they didn't just come and take this land peaceably to start their new world order. Right? They kind of came over here and may have slew some of the sons of Shem and took their land. Right? So they can make Babel. Right? So let's read that again. Let's go back to Genesis. Right? Chapter 11 and read verse 2. Right? Genesis, I believe we chapter 11 and 2. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Now remember, we read in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 10 and 5, that this is a conspiracy. This isn't sincere, and neither is it lawful. They didn't say we're going to build an altar to do burnt offerings to the Most High. They didn't say we're going to make a pillar and pour oil on top and dedicate it to the Lord. They said we're going to build us a city. They didn't say we're going to build the Lord a city, right? We're going to build a city and a tower. And this tower is pretty much an idol, right? It's an actual tower, but it's set up as a monument for man, right? It's a monument dedicated to man. So if there was ever them being scattered abroad, they can always come back to this monument where man has established their dominance on the earth. This is not of the Lord. This is dedicated to man. That's what it says, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name. See? And this is what man goes off. Man wants to make them a name. They don't want to serve Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. They didn't say, let us serve the Lord. Let us make a covenant with the Most High. Let us draw nigh unto the Lord. They said, we're going to make us a name. This is about man. Man is running things. Like we read in the book of Daniel, they had a mouth that speaketh great things. Right? So they said, let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. Right? And remember, the children of men are the other nations that we read about in Wisdom of Solomon. All right? Not the children of God. Because remember, during this time, you had Eber, you had Peleg, you understand? And you had all of the sons of God. They wasn't involved in this. The sons of God, they were doing their own thing, keeping the commandments. But the other nations, this was their conspiracy. Right? And the same plans are the same plans they have now. And I hope that the sons of God can get caught up in this thing. Right? And the Lord said, behold, the people is one. Just like now. Everybody speaks English. The people is one. Everybody celebrate Christmas. Moabites celebrate Christmas. Hamites celebrate Christmas. East Indians celebrate Thanksgiving. Everybody wears suits and ties. Everybody follows white Jesus. Everybody bows down to the so-called white man. The people is one. You see that? And they have all one language, like now, right? The so-called white man wants everybody to speak English. That's a universal language. And this they begin to do. Now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Just like now, right? Everybody's on one accord now. Everybody can communicate, and this same threat is on the earth, where nothing can restrain man. Because now the Moabites can link up with the Edomites. The Edomites can link up with the Ishmaelites. The Ishmaelites can link up with the Hamites. You can't restrain all these nations because now they all speak the same language and they can all communicate on how to destroy the Israelites and try to fight against the Most High. And you look how man is living now, how the nations do trade with one another, how the nations destroy the ozone layer, so-called, how they pollute the water. Nothing is stopping man from doing what they want to do because they have the ability to willfully communicate, right? And the same thing was back then. The Most High has to restrain man and limit man, and that's why man originally was set up in their own boundaries, right? Like the Lord said in Deuteronomy. I'm gonna get that real quick. And Deuteronomy chapter 32, right? That's why man originally was given boundaries, like we went into for the sons of Noah. Right? Deuteronomy 32:8. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam. See that? He set the bounds of the people, meaning your boundary, what land you get, what land you cannot get, the borders. He set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. So everybody's supposed to be separated, right? Everybody's not supposed to be together. Everybody's not supposed to serve heathen gods and all speak the same language to communicate in wickedness. Everybody's supposed to be separate. The Moabites are supposed to be in the land of Moab. The Ammonites are supposed to be in the land of Ammon. The Hamites are in Ham. The sons of Japheth, they were given the Isles of the Sea. The Lord intended for everybody to be separated. And if everybody is separated, that limits and prohibits man from coming together and coming up with wicked ideas, man. Like you might have a whole bunch of when you're a kid and you got bad kids in the classroom, and a teacher, he'll separate them, right? They can't sit next to each other because if they come together, all hell break loose with these kids, man. They damn throwing spitballs. They encouraging each other to go off and misbehave. They laughing, they passing notes. So the teacher has to separate them and scatter them. Sometimes they put them in different classrooms, man. One might be on this side of the class, one might be on this side. Why? Because if they come together, all hell will break loose. That's what the Most High, when the kingdom of heaven is established, we're going to have to put all of the nations back in their borders, and Edomites are not going to be able to go into the land of Moab. The Moabites in the kingdom of heaven, they're not going to be able to go into the land of Ammon. The Ammonites are not going to be able to visit the sons of Cush. Everybody's going to be separated all over again. And everybody's boundaries are going to be established all over again. Right? So this is why the Most High said that nothing will be restrained from them. Like two badass kids in the classroom, you can't stop them, man. When they come together, you know those two bad kids that come together, nothing's going to stop them from going off. You can tell them to be quiet. You can tell them to hush, right? Hey, but the only way to stop them from going off is to separate them. And this is the same thing in Genesis chapter 11. Right? So let's go back to this in Genesis chapter 11. Then I want to go back to what's going on in Australia. Right? So Salaki, bear with me. Right? This is the book of Genesis chapter 11 and verse, I'll read 6 again. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us, who's that? The Lord and the angels. Let us go down and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Right? Therefore, it's the name of it called Babel. And Babylon in Hebrew is Babal, which means confusion. Because the Lord did confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. And this was the original Tower of Babel, right? Or your original New World Order. This was your original New World Order, right? Let's look that up. Tower of Babel. And Esau, he's still trying to build that. You know, I'm led to believe that if the Most High allowed man to rule for 1,000 more years, they would literally build another Tower of Babel. Right? You see that? Hold on. Now there's no telling how tall this thing really was. Right? I kind of like this other picture better. Right? Let me pull this up. Right? The so-called, you see this? This is your so-called Tower of Babel. Right? And Nimrod then built this. He built it, but he had slaves and workers like any kingdom does, man. Right? Like any kingdom does. You see that? So this is the Tower of Babel that they built it, that all people can come together, right? And commemorate and idolize man. Right? So then let's go to the book of First Maccabees. Right? We'll have to pull this up. And then again, when you look up the United Nations flag, and we brought that up before. See that? Look at this modern. Look at this. They telling on themselves. You click on today. Well, I want to go back to the United Nations. Right? The United Nations flag. It's the Tower of Babel. Right? Bear with me. Let's pull this up, man. Look at this madness. Right? The United Nations building, the EU Parliament, right, is based off of the Tower of Babel. That's what the Lord said, no new thing is under the sun. Because they want all nations to come together and all be one people. Right? Let's go to Habakkuk. I have to keep the blue letter pulled up. But then after we go to Habakkuk, we'll go to the book of First Maccabees. Then I'll go into the rest of these articles. Right? So let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2. Right? Let's go to the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. This Habakkuk chapter 2 and 4. It reads, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. See, because man isn't satisfied with just being a man and serving the Most High, especially the so-called white man. That's not enough for him. He wants to be the Lord. He can't be satisfied. He want to fight the Lord. The Lord said, woe unto him that striveth with his maker. In the book of Isaiah chapter 45. So it's not enough for Esau to be created, man. He sold his birthright. That wasn't enough for him. He lied. That wasn't enough for him. He want to kill his brother. That's not enough. He want to fight Yahweh Shai one-on-one and think that he's going to win. And you got damn coons saying a so-called white man can make it. And he has plans to fight against the Lord himself. So he can't be satisfied. You can get the so-called white man the entire land of the Native Americans. You can give him the entire continent of Africa. He'll colonize it. It's not enough. He's going to keep digging in the damn ground, keep mining. He destroyed the earth, man. You know? So he can't be satisfied. Jake, you can be satisfied. All you need, all Jake need is some rest. You kick your feet up, you relax, might have some wine, and you all right. We're not thinking about colonizing lands. We're sheep. You know, we're not thinking about dropping bombs and creating diseases. We can be satisfied. We want rest. But the so-called white man, and you can't please him. Hey man, the so-called white man, he even said, I believe it's Prince Edward or one of the princes of Europe, he said in the event that he was reincarnated, he would like to come back as a deadly virus to kill more people. You know? So this devil, he ain't right. So he cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. So this is him and his new world order all over again. Gathering all nations as that great melting pot. Right? Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 1. I believe I want 13. All right. Damn devil said I want to come back as a disease. But yet Esau can make it. Right? Here's that melting pot spirit. Jeremiah 1 and 13. And the word of the Lord came unto me the second time, saying, what seest thou? And I said, I see a seething pot, right, or a melting pot, and the face thereof is toward the north. See that? And the face thereof is toward the north, right? And this is the land of the north, and you have a seething pot facing the north, because this is the melting pot in the north country. America's the melting pot, man, where every nation is here. Every ethnicity, every race is here, man. And that's what America glorifies himself for. And that's one of their major sins. They have heaped unto them all people, right? If you don't know what a melting pot is, you got brothers, you know, you may not know, right? What a melting pot is. We'll pull it up. Right? This is a melting pot. All right, let's pull this up. And nowhere in the Bible did the Most High say do this. Right? Here's that great, and this looks like a dude. Right? This might be a trainee, you know? But supposedly, I don't know if this is a man or a woman, right? I don't know what's going on, you know? But now you have all nations here. You look at they got the Moabites in here. You got the Italians. They got the Issacharites. They got every nation here, man. The so-called Japanese. And they all inside this pot being stirred up. It's the same thing. That's the seething pot, and the pot thereof is toward the north. And they got a training. See that? See that right there? So that's the melting pot spirit. All right, the melting pot concept. So let's check this out. Okay, check this out. Here, a melting pot or a salad bowl, right? It says the definition of a melting pot is a concept referring to a society becoming more unified with the different elements melting together into a harmonious whole with a common culture. It is most commonly used to describe the assimilation or blending in of immigrants to the United States. And if you are making ingredients and you're melting them together, they lose their flavor. They lose what makes it special. You understand? So if you have, and everybody knows that if you cook and you got a bunch of ingredients and you melt them together, you put in the pepper, some oregano, some garlic powder, right? Some damn onion powder. You may have something in there. And then they eventually lose their individual taste and what makes them great. The onion powder loses what makes it onion powder because it's mixed in. The garlic powder loses that garlic taste because it's mixed in. Everything loses what makes it special when it's blended in and when it's melted in. And that's why they want the Israelites to be melted in. So you lose your heritage and your nationality and who you are and your God and your power, right? So that's the concept of the New World Order, man. And that's why the Most High is going to destroy this wicked kingdom, because that's why it says it's a wicked conspiracy, right? And if everybody's melted and blended together, then you have one common taste or one common goal that the so-called white man can enforce and manipulate, you know? So let's go to the book of First Maccabees. And that's a good precept, brother, but Proverbs 27 and 20. Right, let's pull that. Right, that's a good precept. Proverbs 27 and verse 20. Right? It reads, hell and destruction are never full, meaning the grave, right? The grave and death always consume. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. And the Lord said in the book of Sirach, what is more wicked than the eye? And weepeth upon every occasion. You know? So I want to go to the book of First Maccabees real quick. Right? I want to make sure this got the Apocrypha in it. All right, so let's get this. I want to go to First Maccabees chapter 1, and I want to go to verse, right? And brothers, they putting some fire precepts in there, man. All right, let's go to First Maccabees chapter 1. Like I said, we're not going to read the whole chapter. We're going to touch a few points. I want to get back into these articles, right, and these videos, right? First Maccabees chapter 1, and I want to get straight to the point. 41. Now, if you don't know, this is during the time of the Greeks, right? The Greek dynasty, which really ruled from around 331 till around 146 BC. They took down, you can read about this more in the book of Daniel, the 8th chapter, and Daniel, the 11th chapter, how they took down the Medo, or really the Persian Empire, and Darius III. And then they were a successful kingdom with Alexander the Freak, or Alexander the Great, from around 331. Then his descendants and his rulers, they fell and collapsed around 146 by the Romans and Macedonian wars, right? So during this time is during the time of the Greeks. And they had one of the kings of the Seleucid dynasty named Antiochus Epiphanes IV. So let's read about this. It reads, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, right? Same thing. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. That's plain. Everybody's with it. Just like now, the Chinese man, hey, he'll come here and he'll speak English better than a so-called white man. You got Moabites that come here and they're Ivy League professors teaching American studies better than a so-called white man. You know, you got East Indians, they know how to carve that turkey better than a so-called white man. Right? You got the damn Hamites come here and their damn Christmas lights for wintertime, they're competing with damn Billy, the so-called white man. Who can have the greatest Christmas lights, man? Because all of the heathen have agreed that the so-called white man's standard and way of life is the supreme. That's why he's the light bearer. Because all nations look at the so-called white man as if he's the light. Right? So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion. So if you follow the New World Order, that's a religion. That's called Babylonianism. That is your religion. Right? And sacrificed unto idols and profaned the Sabbath. For the king has sent letters by messengers into Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land. You see that? So here's your New World Order being established during the time of the Greeks. When you even had Israelites who say, okay, I don't want to keep the Sabbath day. I don't want to be circumcised. You can forget about that beard and those fringes. I'm not dealing with it. I want to be like the so-called white man. You got Jake now doing videos to get the poison. Like I brought the video out, you had a Juvenile, Manny Fresh, and all them niggas of the world who they paid to get to do the song of Vax That Thing Up. You had a Benjamite. A Benjamite did a song about getting the poison inside of you. They paying people $100 to do it. Big Macs, fries, free lap dances at the strip club, free no parking tickets. anything to get that poison inside of you. You know? So I also want to get I want to pull this back up. Right? I want to pull this back up. This is from so like it, bear with me. Military, this is from RT News, Sydney, Australia. Military to deployed. The military has been deployed to enforce lockdown in Sydney. Right? So meaning what? If you get out and you kind of leave your house, the army's going to be right there. They might kind of cock their damn gun up, kind of aim and say, what the hell are you doing? Now, you can say, look, I'm walking the dog. You say, look, I want to get out. I want to get some fresh air. They're going to say, get back in the house. Now, either you got two options. Now you can go back in the house and comply with that new world order, or you could say what? You could say, I'm going to go get my fresh air. You could go on a jog. They're going to hunt you down. It might be shoot first, ask later. We really don't know. They might tase you. They might detain you. They might run your records, run your blood type, and if they find out you don't got the poison inside of you, they're going to kind of put that thing inside of you, and they might send you home, or they might keep you locked up. You see that? So you have the military, and this is from more than one media source, right? It's on End Time Headlines, so RT News. It says again, I'm going to read it again. Military deployed to enforce the poison lockdown in Sydney. All the hell is breaking loose in Australia, man. You got mice plagues, you got wildfires, animals going extinct, right? It reads, Australia's military has been called into the city of Sydney. And that's one of the biggest cities, if not the biggest city in Australia, right? To help enforce the toughest lockdown since the start of the poison. Local authorities have ordered 5 million people to stay at home amid a surge in cases. Despite 5 weeks of lockdown, infections continue to spread, with officials recording 170 new cases on Friday. And nobody cares about the numbers Esau gives. We don't believe those numbers, right? Soldiers will join police in virus hotspots to ensure people follow the rules, including mandatory mask outside. See, a lot of people don't want to wear that no more. You know, out in Florida, you don't have to do that. You might go into the store, you might have your damn mask kind of hung over your chin, or might be hanging off a damn ear. You can't do that out there. You're going to get hemmed up. Right? It's on lockdown. You can't come in. They can't leave. Let's go to 2nd Esdras. Right? I'm going to get more on that. Right? But let's go to 2nd Esdras. Right? This 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, and we're going to start at verse 16. Right? We're going to keep reading this, man. Right? There's no expiration date on the precept. You can read that. We're going to read these precepts to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. Damn, destroy this place, man. Right? This 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? Because a lot of people are rebelling and rioting against the government. Look what's going on in France, Australia, South Africa, Cuba, England. Everybody's rebelling against that poison now, because the Lord got the spirit of commotions and anarchy in the air. You got blood moons. It's been blood moons for damn 12 days straight. Blood moons outside. You got Israel being bombed by Iran. Now you got the United Kingdom, you got America, and you got Israel saying we got something for Iran. And I'm led to believe they're going to do it. Because Israel, when they say they're going to do something, they kind of do it. Them Amalekites out there. See, America, they kind of sissies. They kind of pacified. Right? They got sugar in their tank. But these Amalekites, they're about that thing. So I'm led to believe they're going to do something. Now, we got to play it by ear. These blood moons ain't in the sky for no reason. Right? So you got blood moons in the sky. You got World War III on the horizon. You got pestilence. You got lockdowns. You got sedition. We just checking off the prophecies one by one. One by one, we checking off the prophecies. You see that? Now I want to get this real quick. Bear with me. Right? You have riots in France. So I'm going to play this. Bear with me. I'm going to play this from my phone. I can't really play it off the laptop or they might kind of flag the video.
Thousands of protesters took to the streets of France on Saturday to demonstrate against and compulsory vaccination rule for healthcare workers. Some 160,000 people protested against a bill that will require everyone to have a special virus pass to enter restaurants and mandating COVID-19 vaccinations for workers in some selected professions. The pass attests that the holder has either been fully vaccinated, has tested negative over the previous 24 hours, or has recovered from COVID in the last 6 months. The new measure was announced last week by President Emmanuel Macron in a bid to boost vaccinations as the country battles a surge in coronavirus cases fueled by the highly contagious Delta variant.
Alors, je n'ai pas envie que ma fille ait une injection qui fasse que ça puisse dérégler son cycle menstruel. Donc, je n'ai pas confiance dans un vaccin parce que je sais qu'il peut y avoir des conséquences fâcheuses. Nous sommes encore dans les essais cliniques. Donc, nous ne savons pas si à moyen ou à long terme, nous aurons des effets indésirables, que ce soit sur les...
And quick point, Slocky, they got subtitles, but quick point. I'm led to believe that a lot of these elites, they thought the more people were going to comply. They thought more people were going to be with it. They tried to use fear tactics and fear mongering and try to instill that inside the minds of the people. And they thought this thing would go more smoothly than it did. They thought that they'll just do it and people will line up. You got to remember, a lot of these people of the earth are waking up with the internet, and you got the Israelites out there and so-called conspiracy theorists and whistleblowers and this age of information. And with this internet, a lot of these people, even people of the world, they're not even getting down with it. They're even Edomites and France, they'll come out and say, hey, look, we're not dealing with it. We're not getting it, man. You know? And they said, hey, look, we're not dealing with it, man. Nobody approved it. You're rushing this thing on us, and we're not taking it. And that's in France. It's going on in Australia. So what's going on in Australia is that they said, look, we don't give a damn if you like it or not. You're going to take this. And you're not leaving. People said, no, we're going to leave. They said, oh, we got soldiers outside your house. Right? And they said, welcome to the New World Order. So let's finish this video. Right? I know they speak in French, but if you look carefully, they got subtitles.
French anti-riot police fired tear gas as brief clashes erupted.
See that?
When the protesters reached the Champs-Élysées and the Gare Saint-Lazare railway station. Across France, protests were planned in cities including Marseille, Montpellier, Nantes, and Toulouse. French lawmakers are due to vote this weekend on this COVID health pass bill. Meanwhile, in Italy, thousands of demonstrators gathered in Rome and several other Italian cities to protest against government's requirement of a so-called Green Pass, an extension of the European Union's digital COVID certificate to enter many venues.
See that? We just read that a man, or when we read on, it says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Prophecy.
Approved a decree on Thursday ordering the use of green passes starting from August the 6th. These passes will allow access to gyms, museums, movie theaters, and the inside of restaurants and other public venues.
Sono qui perché non voglio il Green Pass, perché voglio essere libera di scegliere quello che voglio e non voglio fare.
France, Italy,
Hundreds
England.
of anti-COVID protesters also staged demonstrations in London on Saturday against what they describe as an erosion of their civil liberties. Demonstrators say UK government's track and trace app is limiting their movements, with more than 600,000 told to self-isolate to prevent further COVID spread. The protests come a week after most coronavirus restrictions in England were lifted. Meanwhile, in Greece, police used tear gas and water cannon to disperse protesters.
Damn, you see that? It's all over, man. It's in Greece, France, Italy, England, Australia. Hey, when it come to America, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad, man. It's gonna get. And then, like the brother said, that's a good point, man. You know, Esau may shut the damn internet down because out there in Cuba they doing blackouts. So a lot of the people they don't have access to social media. Now I believe it was in India. They're actually, I could be wrong, but it's a country out there. They're blocking your SIM card. You know, they're actually blocking that SIM card. So it's like the people aren't able to text, make phone calls. It could be an emergency. They're blocking SIM cards in certain countries if you don't get it, man. Now, if you accept it, right? If you accept it in your mind that it's the right thing to do and you perform it, then guess what? That's scripture. That's Revelation, the 13th chapter. You accepting these philosophies and doctrines of the so-called white man. Right? And we've been saying that if you accept the philosophies and ways of life of the so-called white man in your mind and you perform the action with your hands, that's in the Bible. That's Revelation chapter 13, 15 on down. And you're going to be cut down. Right? So let's we'll play the rest of this.
The UK government's track and trace app is limiting their movements, with more than 600,000 told to self-isolate to prevent further COVID spread. The protests come a week after most coronavirus restrictions in England were lifted. Meanwhile, in Greece, police used tear gas and water cannon to disperse protesters in central Athens, demonstrating against COVID-19 vaccinations. Groups of protesters fired petrol bombs at riot police as they marched near the parliament. Saturday's demonstration was the third in 10 days, which has been prompted by a government decision to impose mandatory inoculations for healthcare workers.
See that? Mandatory inoculations for healthcare workers. So, you know, it's going down, man. It's going down. They got the, like I said, the military getting involved. They have people out there sending, let me pull that up again one more time from the end time headlines. It says, bear with me. Here, go to this one more time. Australia deploys helicopters and soldiers to keep people in their homes in one of the world's strictest lockdowns. And we waiting for it to hit America, man. We want this to hit Babylon the Great. Because these Babylonians, they don't know what's going on. The average Babylonian is drunk, you know? And then things are going to be shut down, man. The Lord said in Isaiah, let's go to Isaiah chapter 24. Right? Let's go to Isaiah the 24th chapter. Let's get this in prophecy. About the mirth and the sound of wine and crying in the streets. This Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 7. It reads, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. So all the merry-hearted are the people that are into festivities, into the world continuing on as if nothing's happening. NBA finals, watching the damn Olympics, getting involved with damn pop culture, hip hop, damn rap, festivities, the world, vacations, traveling. These are the merry-hearted, right? It reads, the merry-hearted do sigh. The mirth of tabrets ceaseth. The noise of them that rejoice endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with the song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. The city of confusion, which is America, Babylon the Great. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. And these houses are going to be shut up, sealed off. You can't come in. You can't leave your house. Not going to be able to leave your city. You know, all these things are happening on the earth. And the so-called white man, he could have planned this, kind of gave you a glimpse of freedom, released the lockdown, and allowed you to go back to get your ice cream, and you might go to Rita's with your woman and, you know, get something to eat, or, you know, take your kids to the movie theaters, or hang out with the family and go to the park. And, you know, a lot of times that you might go in the store, you might have your mask on. They may say, look, you don't need that. So a lot of people are kind of getting comfortable. So when they cut that lockdown again, people are going to be mad. They're going to riot, and that's going to be a reason to kind of enforce martial law, right? And Jacob's trouble is going to kick off, and all hell is going to break loose on the earth. So there's nothing nice coming to this place, man. There is nothing nice coming to Babylon the Great, man. Right, I want to pull this up as well. One more thing, maybe two more things. Salakia, bear with me. Salakia. Right, bear with me. I played this before, but I'll play it again. See if I can find this. Right now, it's kind of hard to find. Right, it's hard to find now. At first, you could kind of find it when they came out and said, "Welcome to the first day of the New World Order." Right, they came out and said that. But it's kind of hard to find nowadays due to the amount of what they call misinformation. And there's another term they use, they throwing out there, fact checkers. Right? Bear with me. Right? If I can't find it, you just have to go to the old video where they came out and said, "Welcome to the first day of the New World Order." Right? So this is going into the New World Order. Extreme lockdowns and signs of the end. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra. Right? Let's go back to 2nd Ezra chapter 15. We're going to read 18 again. Right? 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 18. 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So all hell is about to break loose on the earth, man. Right? Riots, like I said, you got the blood moons every night. Every night it's a blood moon, man. For the past 12 nights, it's been blood moons out, man. That's judgment coming. Prophecies unfolding. The elect are being sealed, man. So that's why Akim and Aqua have to make sure you're praying, you're fasting, you're being diligent, you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you're praying for more faith, you're praying for mercy, and that you are counted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and stand before the Son of Man. Like the brother said, sounds like The Purge. They don't make these movies like the Purge for no reason. You know? They don't make movies like that because a lot of these Hollywood directors, they're in cahoots with the elites, and a lot of these producers, they kind of know the plan about how these devils want to move in the last days, man. Right? Now you got people saying, look, should I get a bug out bag? Do I get my batteries and my rubbing alcohol? Do I buy my guns? What do I do? Should I buy my underground bunker and a she shed? And hey, all we tell our people to do is make sure that you pray for more faith and mercy, and you keeping the law, statutes, commandments. And if you got stuff like that, we're not telling brothers it's wicked, but don't put your trust in it. Put your trust in Yahweh Yahushua, who's going to deliver you in those days. Let's go to Psalms chapter 34. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 34 and verse 19. Right? Psalms chapter 34 and 19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, delivereth him out of them all. He keepeth all his bones, not one of them is broken. So the Lord going to keep all of your members intact. You don't have to worry about the poison and all of the plans of the so-called white man. We read that the Lord said he bring the counsel of the heathen to naught and maketh the devices of the people of none effect. You know? But with that, I'm going to close up, giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Kwamalak Yahushai. Most High willing, you was edified. The Cold Cuts channel should be back up and running. Most High willing tomorrow. Stay in tune for the Monday Night Fire. We're going to get into some deep prophecy. Kwam Yashala. Shalom.